like maybe some of them aren't homeless, and that, like, I mean, I've heard that people do that just for the money. Like, they dress up like they're dirty and they like look all raggedy and they stand out there, and that's like their day job.
When I see a homeless person, I definitely think that there's something dangerous about them because, it's just that whole mystery surrounding being homeless. We don't know what they've gone through. All we know is that they're trapped out there on the street, and for all we know, they could try to mug us. So there's definitely this perception of fear. There's also a perception of desperation. They'll do anything to me to make their next dollar, or to make their next meal, or even get their next fix of drugs. So desperation and fear. That's kind of what I think about.
I think I used to be afraid. I'd see him and I'd think, oh, and that was the perception that I used to have. Now, as I understand homelessness more, and that some people don't choose it, and even the ones that do, I mean, I can't fault them for that if that's what they choose. I'm not so afraid anymore. I know they're usually going to approach me, either, can I borrow a cigarette? Do you have money? And I've been asked, it happened just the other day, some guy wanted money from me, and the store clerk came out of the store and said, don't give it to him, because he gets enough money to come in here and he buys booze, and then he comes back later and he harasses me. So there are those two, but I'm not so frightened anymore.
They do look a little scary, like when you walk by them and everything, but it is sad at the same time, I think.
They're homeless because they're on drugs or they're alcoholic. They don't always, in my opinion, I don't think they always think about this person. Maybe, like I was saying earlier, lost their job. I think usually people perceive them as someone who did this to themselves, and it's not that they really wanted to be on the streets, that they purposely did it to themselves.
I think it takes a lot of courage from them to stand out in the street and ask for money. I think if we were told to do it, I think we think it twice, because I don't see myself going and asking people for help, asking people for money, So I think they have a lot of I think this is not the correct word to say, but they have a lot of balls to do it. Yeah.
I think that some people have chosen to be homeless, and I don't think it's because they're lazy. I think it's because they can fly below the radar, that they don't like the organization of living in a house and paying bills and that kind of thing. So I think, as cold as that may sound, I do think that some people have chosen that, and I think that they're kind of okay with that they've adapted to that.
When people get trapped into homelessness, and I say trapped because it really does become, a cycle of homelessness, it's very, very hard to get out. And so, we talked about the economic crash. People lose their jobs, people's, spouses leave them, and they fall into depression. Basically they get themselves into some condition, and it's very, very hard for them to get out of said condition.
There are other people who I believe have not chosen that. It's a matter of our circumstances in life. Our economy has forced a lot of people to become homeless, and they could be young enough that parents just said, get out of the house. Well, where else are they going to go? They don't have the skills or the education to go and find a job to support themselves. So what do they have?
I've known a lot of family members that in Mexico, they have to go out in the streets and sell gums or candies or stuff like that to be able to bring money back home. And it's different here, because here they don't do nothing like that. They just ask for money. So I think if they just things like they did over there, if they sold things, I think it would have been better. Yeah. But still,
it's hard for them to do that here because of laws and stuff.
Okay, since I've taken T-Crim 271, I can tell you that the book answer to social deviance is, in general, just things that go against social and cultural norms. And to say that is kind of an oxymoron, because every culture has, different norms, and within every culture there are subcultures that have their own norms. And so, no matter what you do, right, you're always being, quote unquote, socially deviant to one culture or another. But, that's what I think of social deviance.